Hey, what's happening out there, everybody? This is Chris Boleman, Chief Mission Officer at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We are coming to you today from our family kitchen. And so I'll connect the dots there with our special guest here in just a second. But hopefully you're online with this, so I'm going to give you just a second before we get started. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you're at today. I know all of us are still in our homes trying to do our part to fight against this terrible virus that's against us, but hopefully you're safe and at home. You're watching us live. Hopefully some of you can even follow along with us on what we're going to do. Don't forget the messaging in the bottom. Go ahead and again, if you have some questions as we go through here for our expert that I'll call on here in a moment about cooking and diets and how to eat healthy and right. We're very excited about today's session. It's funny, the other day, somebody emailed me and said, hey, when you do the ag chat, are you going to do anything on an agriculture lesson? And the answer to that is all of them are. And a lot of people don't connect the dots between a raw product, which is what we have here. We can go ahead and show that. We have some raw products we're going to talk about here in a minute. And so these are the products here. And then actually as it comes to a plate, right? It started in the field, started in a pasture somewhere, it ends up on a plate. So we're going to talk about that today. So we're excited to have you on. With that being said, the other thing I want to stop and do is thank all of our first responders, all of our health professionals that are out there fighting and fighting COVID-19 and helping all of our people that need help during this time. We ask for prayers for those folks as well that are fighting this terrible virus. So a shout out, if you don't mind, to our doctors, our nurses, our healthcare workers, all of our first responders that are out there. In addition to them, and certainly as we talk about agriculture and our ag chat, we want to thank all the farmers and ranchers that are out there, all the truck drivers that are delivering this product, all the grocery stores and the workers there that are staying open so that we can have fresh product. We're in such a fortunate country where we're able to do that, and that's a lot because of our commitment to agriculture. How about that? Now, with that being said, I think we're ready to get started. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up or a little love heart down there that you can do, especially if you like my apron, like this cowboy hat I'm wearing, little headgear today as we're in the kitchen. And today I am so excited and thankful to introduce my beautiful bride, Dr. Randi Boleman. Come on up, Randi. What's happening, honey?
We're going to do some cooking.
Cool. We are going to do some cooking. And so we hope, again, you're joining us. Can you give them just a bit overview about social distancing and hand washing as we come into the kitchen?
Yes. So in the spirit of saving time, we went ahead and prepped the area. We cleaned the area. We washed all of our fresh vegetables and our fruit. We've washed our hands. Some of us are wearing headgear.
Yeah.
And some of us are not. But we do have our apron on to protect our clothing and also do have some spills. Got some pot pads ready for our oven. So we're practicing food safety. And we're going to talk a little bit about the social distancing too, as far as when it comes to ingredients.
Cool. And we can be close to each other because we're married. And so we've been around each other, so we're okay. So I want to introduce Dr. Randi Boleman. She is the Assistant Director of Nutrition Services at Bryan ISD. Her boss is more than 6 feet away from us today, but she's managing the camera. So Sunday, thank you for being here and doing that. In addition, and so you'll see maybe a picture of Randi doing an interview with the local news. She does a lot of work and with our media in terms of talking about eating right, eating healthy, and school food services. In addition to that, she is a volunteer at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. She currently serves as chairman of communications and special services. Give a heart if you like that yellow hat you see on the screen right now. That's her favorite color. In case you can't tell, she likes red and yellow as you look at her home here. And then also, just real quick, before we even get into all that, why do you volunteer at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo? Why is it so important to you?
Well, I do want to say one quick thing about Cindy.
Okay, yeah.
She is our Director of Food Services at Bryan ISD, but she is also the mother of a Houston Livestock Show
That's right.
Scholarship recipient, Jordan Fryer.
Yay! Hey, Jordan, I hope you're watching today. Your mama says you're supposed to be working, but who knows, right? So yeah, so while we get started, Randi, we have people from Vidor, Magnolia, Nashville, Tennessee, Fayetteville, so people coming from all over to watch you today. So go ahead and talk about your rodeo volunteer work.
Some of the things that we're going to do today are a fan favorite, no matter what part of Texas you're from. So talking a little bit about nutrition.
Well, you got to talk first about why you like being a volunteer.
Why I like being, sorry, I got so excited about
I know.
volunteer, rodeo, and food. They're two of my favorite things. So why do I like volunteering with the Houston Rodeo? The heart of the Houston Rodeo volunteer is immense. They're very passionate about what we do, promoting agriculture, supporting education, Western heritage, and you just can't find that anywhere else. And I love being part of that. Just a small part of it, but I do like being part of that.
Awesome. And who's your favorite staff member? Don't answer that. Okay, so in doing that, you'll see a picture of us, I think, too, at the rodeo. We love, obviously, what the rodeo does, and we've both been involved forever. So in saying that, let's get into what we're going to do today. Don't forget, if you have questions about nutrition, questions about diets, whatever the case may be, drop them in the text chat. They'll be sent to me. That's why I'm looking at my phone, just seeing what we can get answered on air, or even afterwards. Randy will answer those. We're going to provide you some recipes at the end. We're going to talk about a lot of ingredients, and I have to give a special shout out to both HEB and Kroger. They both are one of our sponsors at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, both HEB and Kroger. That's where we got our ingredients today. Thank you for all of your support and all that you do for us at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Randy, what are we cooking today?
All right, we've got a couple of different things. We're going to kind of start with, we'll have an appetizer, we'll have the entree, and we'll have dessert, because you always have to have a dessert. But the thing we're actually going to cook and showcase today will be the main dish. We're going to do pizza.
Starting with pizza.
Yeah. And I am a huge advocate for kids in the kitchen. Anytime a family can gather together in the kitchen and cook, it promotes family bonding, it teaches nutrition, and let's face it, when it comes to the skills in the kitchen, that's something you're going to use no matter if you're 10 to 100.
Right.
So
aren't you excited that I'm in the kitchen with you?
Did you even know this was a kitchen?
Yes. I've been in here a few times. Yes, the microwave is what I use the most. So I'm very excited to be right here cooking with you. So tell us what we're going to start with.
All right, so we're going to do pizza. Everybody loves pizza. And whenever, I always think of like recipes at home, it's kind of like a roadmap. You know where you want to go, but if you've ever looked at a map, there's about 3 different ways to get to any location. So we know our endpoint is going to be pizza, but what are we going to do? Do we want to go a traditional route, like you would see at, a pepperoni, a chicken, something like that? Do you want to switch it up and maybe do something a little crazy, like sweet and savory? Do a pulled pork with pineapple, or even change up the theme totally and do like a taco pizza, where instead of a traditional pizza sauce, you would do like a salsa and then taco meat, jalapenos. Or do you really want to go crazy and do like a fruit pizza or a breakfast pizza and do like gravy, pork sausage? So that's what I love about pizza. There's endless possibilities.
But we all start with a foundation.
We all start with a foundation, and today we're just going to do a traditional pizza. That doesn't mean you can't spice it up some. So we are starting with a whole wheat thin crust. You can purchase a crust pre-made at any of the 2 store, HEB or Kroger. You can find it in the Italian or international aisle. You can find it in the freezer section with the other pizzas. Or you can do your own rolled dough.
And this is a wheat base, right?
Well, it is wheat based, but it is a whole wheat.
Whole wheat, yep.
A lot of people tell me, well, I eat wheat bread, so it must be healthy. That's a whole grain. Now remember, pretty much all bread is going to be made from wheat, but not all wheat bread is whole wheat. You want to look for that whole wheat on the ingredient label, or even on the front of the package. The difference between a refined wheat base and a whole wheat is your whole wheat, they're not, whenever they refine the grain down, you don't lose that bran or that germ. Whereas in the refined, you will. It is more shelf stable the more refined it is, but you also are going to lose fiber, iron, your B vitamins. So with your whole grains, you're going to get to retain that.
So it's healthy.
Yes.
Good, healthy product. By the way, I'm going to try to connect a couple of stats about some of the products we're using. Wheat is the primary grain used in the U.S. Approximately 3/4 of all U.S. grain products are made from wheat flour. How about that? And 42 of the 50 states actually produce wheat. So tell us what's coming next.
All right. I do want to say something real quick about wheat. We are seeing an increase in gluten intolerance incidences. And so can you make a pizza without a wheat crust?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. There's cauliflower ones out there, or you can use different kinds of grains like almond flour, coconut flour. Those recipes can be found on the internet, but a pizza crust does not have to traditionally be wheat. It's your roadmap.
It's whatever you want to make it. All right. What comes after the wheat?
We're gonna sauce it. I'm gonna just use a regular basic pizza sauce. I bought this commercially. You can make your own from your own ingredients and from your garden.
We saw that last week with Lisa, right? When we did the gardening session, she talked a lot about tomatoes. People can produce their own tomatoes, grow their own tomatoes at home any way they want, raise beds, backyard, even in the house. So,
yes. And so, and again, your sauce, if you wanted to do something a little bit different and do more salsa to spice it up, if you wanted to even change it up and do, like I said, like if you did a breakfast pizza where you use like country gravy as your sauce, you could do that. I know I see a lot more, we've seen more Alfredo being used, but you can use whatever sauce you want.
Cool.
I definitely choose, if you're going to buy a sauce, do a pizza sauce. You can even use spaghetti sauce because you're going to have those herbs in there and that flavor. Do not use tomato paste.
I know I mentioned tomato paste in our warm up and you told me don't do that, right?
You will not like what happens. It is, tomato paste is going to be very bitter and tangy, and it's really not. It's
and in this sauce,
flavor, but you ain't gonna like it.
And just talk about other agricultural products real quick. In the tomato sauce, it's not just tomatoes, right? There's basil and herbs and all kinds of things in there, right? Perfect. Cool. All right, our sauce is being made. By the way, I'm guessing I'll get to clean all these dishes afterwards. Is that my job?
Yes. The rule in the kitchen is whoever cooked, the other person cleans.
That's why I like paper plates. Yes. All right, what's next, Randy?
All right, the next thing we need is cheese. Now, I will tell you, I'm a huge fan of cheese.
You love you some cheese.
I do, and actually, the cheese I'm using is it's a cheese blend. It's a pizza blend. It's mozzarella and provolone and Swiss. When choosing a cheese, you can use any kind of cheese really you want, but stay away from those dry cheeses or aged cheeses. They do not melt as well. So if you start to get into like an aged cheddar, you won't get that nice melt. If you get into something like a dry cheese like Parmesan, it just doesn't melt as well as a younger or more moist cheese.
And where does cheese come from?
Milk.
And where does milk come from? Come from cows. There's a couple of pictures that'll come up where we have our own dairy show at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, where kids and adults, for that matter, they bring their dairy livestock to our show. And again, we're talking about milk, we're talking about cheese. And around 4,000 years ago, people started breeding animals to make milk. And we know today there are over 1,800 varieties of cheese. I can tell you my wife is a huge cheese fan. Do you have a favorite?
Ooh, I've never met a cheese I didn't like.
There you go. And cheese is made on, all these varieties are made in every country and every continent on the planet. So cheese is one of those staples in our world, for sure. After cheese is when it gets interesting, right?
Yes. So now it's time to top it. And again, you can use any kind of meat you want. You can even just go all cheese. I do love me some cheese, and I made like a 6 cheese pizza. There was a lot of calcium going on, and
right?
It was amazing.
That's why your teeth look so good.
Yes, I have a lot of teeth. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the traditional pepperoni, but I am going to switch it up a little.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah. And so while you're doing that, I didn't know this till I started researching. I figured pepperoni was invented in Italy, but it wasn't. It's actually invented in New York City by Italian immigrants and some of their pizza places. And so, interesting fact about pepperoni, it's made with a mixture of ground pork and mixed beef with all types of flavors and spices mixed in it. So you're starting with a pepperoni. There's also turkey pepperoni, right? You can get turkey pepperoni, which we like as well. We eat a lot of that.
I'm actually using 2 different types of pepperoni. One is a turkey pepperoni. The other is a lower fat pepperoni slice using pork and beef. So we've got a little bit of different types of meats in there supporting ag one way or another.
Excellent. Just reading a couple of messages on the text chat. People want our aprons. I believe you can get those from our shop at RODEOHOUSTON.com, but we'll find out more information. We'll place that in the messaging below. You could bid on mine if you want, because I'm not going to be in the kitchen a whole lot. So you can have this one. I'm learning, right?
You still will want it whenever you're washing dishes.
I still need it for washing dishes. Also, Randy, our niece is on today. So shout out to Lyric, hello, and lots of other folks are on today from all over the place. Even Richard is from Key West. So Richard, thanks for joining us today. All right, so now you've got the pepperonis on. Where are you going next?
I got to show you my design.
Oh, awesome.
It may be traditional pepperoni, but you can always make it fun. We went with the bow-legged H.
That is a bow-legged H right there. That looks pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's another activity you can do with kids to teach them a little bit about eating right and eating healthy and learning how to cook. They can decorate it however they want, right?
Yes.
Give us a
There
shout
are
out.
There are no rules when it comes to pizza. Like I said, it's your destination.
Got it. So if you like our bow-legged H, give us a thumbs up, give us a love and that emoji. It looks awesome. All right, now what are we gonna add?
Well, Houston is famous for their green shavings.
Yep.
So we're gonna add our own green shavings in the form of spinach, because you want to put a little bit of vegetable on your pizza. So we're gonna add our green shavings in.
Some green shavings, otherwise known as spinach. Now here's a fast fact about spinach that's very personal to our family. Randy grew up in Crystal City, Texas, and if you don't know, you can Google that. That is the spinach capital of the world. Who knew that, right? Give me a thumbs up if you knew that. I believe you're going to see a picture of the famous Popeye statue there in Crystal City. How much do you love spinach?
I do love me some spinach. I like it raw. I like it cooked. We have a big spinach cook-off. You can put spinach in just about anything.
I like spinach a lot too. I'm not built like Popeye, so it doesn't work for me, right? No, probably not. Yeah, no. But we do like some spinach. So we have our pizza. We started with our crust, added our sauce, our cheese, our meats. Now we're adding some spinach. Now what's going to happen?
We're going to go ahead and bake this off. It'll take anywhere from like 8 to 12 minutes. We'll check on it in about 8 minutes. But again, if you're doing a pizza at home and you have more toppings you want to put on, go ahead. There are, like I said, there are no rules. This is your trip to Pizza Town, so it's whatever you want to do.
Cool, and you're putting it in the oven and you're cooking it and whatever they told you to, the instructions on the crust,
yes,
right?
Yep. Follow the instructions on the crust package.
Let me open that for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, so we're 15 minutes in, and so we're getting some good messages here. And so hopefully everybody can learn something about making a pizza, but we're going to move on to a different topic, right, Randy?
We are.
Where are we going to go to now?
We're going to go ahead and make a salsa. It's a Texas favorite. It's a great appetizer and it's easy. And so just like the ingredients on your pizza, yes, you can find these ingredients at your local H-E-B or Kroger store. You can find them in your own garden. And also during this time, support, there's a farmer's market, you can get stuff there as well.
Yeah, cool.
Or you can get your neighbor's farm.
Yes, but do that only with permission.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So what do you got?
So we're going to just do a traditional salsa.
Okay.
We're going to start with fresh tomatoes.
Again, back to, we tried to tie the knot, or disconnect the dots, I should say, with what we learned yesterday or last week in our gardening exercise. So we talked a lot about tomatoes. So there's our first product going in. Thank you to Junior Master Gardener Lisa Wilson for helping us out last week. And there's some tomatoes.
All right. The other thing is onions. Now I love me some onions.
You do love onions. That is an accurate statement. I like onions too, not as much as you. Now, what kind of onion is this?
All right, this is my favorite kind of onion.
Everybody pay attention.
This is my favorite kind of onion. It's the 1015.
The 1015.
You know why they call it 1015?
I know you do.
All right. So 1015, you plant it on October 15th. It is the state vegetable of Texas. And the best part about this onion, whenever you cut onions, you're like, I've got it right.
That one doesn't do it.
Right.
Excellent.
It has less pyruvate, which is the tear-causing chemical in other varieties. This one, it's lowest in, so you're not going to get those tears.
Dump it in there, Lynn.
Right.
I love it. No crying
now,
here.
I'm not going to dump the whole bowl.
Good. That's a lot of onions. Agreed. America is third in the world in onion production, and it takes about 100 to 175 days to grow one of these type of onions right here. So it takes a little bit of while, but it's worth it, right?
Yes, and the other great thing about onions, it's a diverse vegetable. So raw, you're going to get one kind of texture and flavor. If you roast it, cook it, grill it, you're going to get a different texture and different flavor.
Excellent, excellent. What else you got for you?
All right, so you got to add a little bit of spice. So we're going to do some jalapenos, which I know Lisa had highlighted in her.
She talked about if you're in Texas, you got to have peppers.
Now, depends on how brave you are.
Right.
Make sure you wash and de-seed them. I did leave a little seeds in to give a little bit of heat. You can always add a little bit of jalapeno, blend it, taste it, see, if it's at the hot heat level, if you need to add a little bit more. It's always easier to add than to take away.
Got it.
Now, if you're really, really scared, I do have a cheater ingredient. This is ground jalapeno pepper. Again, you can get it at Kroger or HEB. And so I'll show it there. It is just ground jalapeno pepper. So if you're afraid, nervous about how much to put in, you can just do a little dash at a time.
Kind of check it.
Yes.
Awesome.
You can control the heat level.
All right. Anything else going in there?
We want to put a little bit of salt. I like to do like a sea salt, do a couple of pinches on it. Again, you can add a little bit later.
Awesome.
I do like to add sometimes a little bit of cumin. And again, you can find this at any grocery store.
What is that again?
It's cumin.
What does that mean for the audience? What
it is a spice. Sometimes it's called comino. So we'll go ahead and chew like that.
So just a herb. I mean, okay, a spice
it's
you can buy.
Actually ground coriander.
Great, ground coriander. That's what I thought. Okay.
All right. The next thing, one of my favorite ingredients.
Yeah.
Garlic. So you can use you can get a fresh clove and skin it and put it in there. Or you can buy it already minced up or chopped up.
I know you like garlic. Yep, we're all aware of that.
So,
Yep.
Put about a teaspoon, maybe another one. I don't think you could ever have too much garlic.
I love garlic. Vampires don't.
They do not.
That's what I thought. All right.
And then the last thing, I always say this is optional because you either love it or you hate it. Cilantro.
I like cilantro.
Right.
A little bit goes a long way, though.
It does.
And anybody can grow cilantro, right? Pretty easy to grow. Another product anybody can grow right there in their garden at home. And then you put it there, and then we're going to mix it real quick.
All right. I always do it on a little bit of a pulse because I don't want it to just pulverize it.
And some people like it chunky, some people like it smooth, right?
Exactly.
Depends on how you want it.
And so, looking at it, do you want to keep it chunky? Do you want it more of a liquid form? It's your personal preference. The other good thing, other thing is make sure you want to get it straight down towards the blades so you can get a nice even blending.
Awesome.
It smells good.
Yeah, that's good. Very good. And do you have a finished product for us?
I do not, but this is
a finished product. It's ready to go. So all we would need is chips. Most chips are made of corn, another great ag commodity, particularly from the Midwest of the United States of America, right?
So we'll go ahead and pour it in a tomato bowl so you can see it.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart if you're liking this salsa, right? This is an easy, fun product. It's a healthy product, lots of vegetables and spices in there. So yes, excellent. So tell us what you think about the salsa. There it is. Cool. All right. Excellent. I'll tell you what.
He's going for chips. He's going for chips.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it, Randy. I'm going to try it. And as I try it here, because that's my job, to wash dishes and to try what we got there. So there we go.
I feel like Buddy yelled, do you like it?
I love it.
Do you really like it?
I love it. It's awesome. I'm going to eat that for lunch later today with that pizza. Okay, we just have a few minutes left. We've got about 5 minutes left. You cannot have a meal without what?
Dessert.
Dessert. That's right. So you got a dessert for us today?
I do. So let me move some of these things out of the way.
We move this over for you?
Yes. So, with COVID going on, a lot of events have been canceled or postponed. And being from South Texas, one of our favorite ones was the Pokeet Strawberry
Grew up
Festival.
going to Pokeet Festival.
So
I think they're going to try to have it in the fall. Yeah, good.
Well, but we can still celebrate it in the spring.
Right.
So we're going to do fresh strawberries, and we're actually going to do pound cake.
Awesome.
Now, people ask me, why did you pick pound cake? Well, so growing up, my grandfather, Pocky, would eat pound cake by the pound, which do you know why they call it pound cake?
You told me, but I wasn't listening.
Because to make it, you need a pound of flour, a pound of butter, a pound of eggs, a pound of sugar.
That makes sense. That's a good name for it. Pound
Yes,
cake. A pound of butter. Okay. Butter, another dairy product.
Yes, and flour.
And flour, another wheat product.
And eggs.
And eggs from a chicken.
Yes.
Yes, see how we're connecting the dots here? By the way, strawberries are the only fruit that wear their seeds on the outside. Who knew that, right?
Who knew? Who knew? So anyway, so I do believe that food, we do have memories associated with food. In fact, one of the popular products recipes we do in our family is called Yummy Yams. And during Christmas, my 4-year-old niece, Miss Lyric, she helped me make our family recipe of Yummy Yams.
Awesome.
So we start to create that fond memory. So I'm using pound cake today. Do a couple of slices. Now you can do angel food cake, you can do ice cream. It's whatever you want. And then we top with some fresh strawberries. And again, I just washed them, sliced them up.
And that's a good key. I was reading the other day, right now when you go to the grocery store, make sure you clean all your food when you get it home, because people may have, as they're going and shopping and being around the food, particularly fresh produce, right?
Yes, yes. And so the other thing we're going to top it with is honey.
Oh, yes.
Now, I do like local honey because, you know why?
I do. And the reason I know why is because last year at the rodeo, I put on a bee outfit and I harvested. I didn't really harvest it, but I acted like I did. And so I learned all about bees and all about honey. And if I'm not mistaken, the reason you should prefer local honey is because it helps your immunity to things that are there locally. I know you're going to say that.
Yes, so the bees, your local bees, are going to collect pollen from the local vegetation, which is most likely what you have a seasonal allergy to. So if you consume that local honey that has some of that local pollen in it, it starts to build up your immune system and help with those seasonal allergies to your area.
And bees are so important. Some folks estimate in the food chain that 1/3 of food can be eaten or wouldn't be available if it wasn't for bees pollinating all kinds of things. A lot of the food that we talked about today, that there's a pollination process and bees are involved. So that is one. I can't wait to eat that dessert, but I can't eat that until after we have to eat all the other food, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
excellent. Okay, so we've made salsa. We even tried that with a chip. We got our pizza. How's it coming? Do we know how we're doing there?
See.
Oh, looks like it's about ready.
Yep. Let me get.
All right, we're going to pull the pizza out, and we're going to begin to wrap up, if that's okay. So, Randy, question for you: for families with children, cooking can be a family activity. You talked a little bit about that. So, what are some other types of meals that you can think of that are good, easy for families to make together? Anything come to mind?
I always like to think of look at your favorite kinds of recipes. And merge them together.
Cool.
So here's our pizza.
Yeah, the pizza turned out great. Look at that bow-legged H. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I know at Brian ISD, we know that kids like protein sandwich. They like pizza. So we make a pizza sandwich where it's a grilled cheese sandwich, but instead of using American cheese, we'll use mozzarella and we put pepperoni slices on it, grill it, and then we serve it with a side of a marinara sauce. Tomatoes,
right?
Which you can make your own, and they can dip that way. So even just looking at things that you like around the house, even when you're doing pizza, look in your pantry. What do you have? I know during this time it's really hard to get out to the store and buy traditional ingredients, but look and see what do you have in your garden. I grew up with a huge garden, and so we had zucchini and squash. Zucchini and squash are a great topper for a pizza. And so, look what you have and think outside the box.
Cool. A couple other questions. One is, hey, everybody out there, tell us what recipe you like best. You like that dessert? You like the pizza? Did you like the salsa? Because we're going to provide all the recipes here in a few minutes. But Randy, you talked about growing up on a garden. You grew up around agriculture. Why is it so important to you, and how does it drive your passion in nutrition?
And, I do think it's from a ground up, and I mean, pardon the pun, from gardening. But some of my fondest memories are from the whole family going out, and Dad would till, we would plant, and of course my brother and I were stuck picking everything.
Right.
And so, but still, I think that it becomes more of an appreciation of the food and the nutrition that it provides, because you are an integral part of the process. And again, I think you start to learn, more about certain products and how can you use those in everyday life and incorporate those into recipes and meals. And so we even did, we'd give away bags vegetables
Right, to
in
local
town.
folks. That's awesome.
And so again, by proxy, you're teaching nutrition and encouraging healthy eating.
And even if you're not cooking, but you want to know about food, you can also, I just got this text from my good friend, Randy Polly, who said you can have kids duplicate a pizza that we've made here. They can use it, put it together and do like a coloring book with it and using different ingredients to color in. So I thought that was a cool idea.
Yes, that's good. And you know, I will always encourage people to mix temperatures, textures, flavors, because that's when it becomes more exciting. Even if you look at this, the cheese will string, the pepperoni will have a little bit more, you'll have to chew a little bit harder. The spinach has a totally different texture. So changing up those textures, having a little crunchy with a sauce, it really changes things up and it's more exciting.
That's awesome.
And color's fun.
Cool, that is awesome. So we're going to wrap up. We're supposed to take 30 minutes and we're right at it. We got some good comments here. People loving the bow-legged H pizza. People definitely are going to make a pizza maybe this weekend. We do ask you, when you go to the grocery store, be safe. Follow all the protocols that are put in place. We certainly want your safety and well-being comes first. One more shout out to all of our farmers and ranchers that continue to produce our ag products so that we can go and have healthy meals even during these times. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to post these recipes online here later today. Randy will also be on to answer some questions if people have more nutrition questions. I'll be back next week. We'll have another guest, another topic. It should be a lot of fun. But before we leave, let's all give Randy a nice round of applause. Nice job, honey. Well done.
The best things I can get is if you cook anything, post it in the comments.
There you
I want
go.
to see your pictures. I want to see what you do, whether it's a pizza, a salsa, a dessert, or any other kind of dish you do. Go ahead and post them in there. I love seeing kids cook.
I love it. So keep washing your hands, keep social distancing, enjoy this time with your family. I'm convinced one day we'll look back and we'll appreciate that time we had together. Much love to everybody out there from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. See you next week. Sunday, thank you for being our camera person today. Yay. Give Sunday a thumbs up, and we will see you all next week. Thanks so much.